The reason why I want to respond to this video is finally today when I go see how wicked human beings they. Now today you go know how wicked people they, right?
They spend 60 billion as we have. Some places they bought votes for as high as 50,000 naira.
It's APC. Where did they get 300 and something thousand? You saw them. They bought votes worth about 60 billion allegedly. Davido's dad just said that yesterday.
Adeleke, if you like, appreciate Amadioha. If you like, appreciate Ayelala. If you like, appreciate Ogun. No matter who you appreciate. We want you to understand something. Adeleke, you did not win that election. Osun people won that election.
The Adeleke, in fact, I was so shocked during the victory speech. A man that everybody across ethnic nationals supported.
Opposition need to come together to really present Nigerians with a formidable option.
Abuja is surprised and shocked at the outcome of Osun State.
Absolutely.
Because that was never their plan.
INEC has proven that it can get its operations right when it has all of the resources. So congratulations to INEC.
It's not the worst embarrassment that 16 governors invaded the state. You know what happened?
You know?
They believe that even if they bring a lame dog in Osun, they are going to win. Because of what they have already planned.
Welcome back to Trend with Alicia. So the controversy that is surrounding Governor Adeleke's acceptance speech is still growing, and a lot of Nigerians are expressing different opinions. In my previous video, I shared my personal opinion alongside reaction from social media, but today we will hear from the major media outlets, lawyers and Nigeria activists what they have to say. But firstly, we have to listen to Rufai Oseni of Arise TV News as he discusses Governor Adeleke's speech and the controversy surrounding the Osun State Fund. We'll be right back.
Heavily then. Because President Tinubu congratulated. It was after everything failed, President Tinubu congratulated. No. Let's not stop talking as if this Adeleke, his head is strong. Bulldozer L'Oreal, his head is strong. And the people loved him and they stood with him. But how Nigerians can replicate that over 177,000 polling units? It's going to be hard though. Osun people can sing Oju to wo, but they still collected the money. Those are the problems in our election process. They can sing Oju to wo, but a lot of them still collected the money. It's not that they rejected the money now. There lies the problem. Because you see, voters will only tilt to a candidate with the possibility of winning because they don't want to waste their votes. So as the fact that they are still collecting the money, that's where lies the problem. So it's not yet to Uhuru. So even as we are celebrating the people's emotions are very fickle. When they pump it with lie and propaganda. So all of these things, another person I want to thank today especially, apart from all them Davido, is Davido's father, Adeleke. The role that man played are not things visible to the public. Some things I would like to tell Governor Adeleke to quickly do. Anyway, who am I to instruct you as governor?
Welcome back, guys. So as I said earlier, many Nigerians are angry and disappointed, while others have chosen to remain silent. But before you form your final opinion, listen to how this presenter from Voice of the People reacted to Governor Adeleke's speech. We'll be right back.
The Adeleke, in fact, I was so shocked during the victory speech. A man that everybody across ethnic nationals supported. Everybody, even people that are not from Osun, were on the social media. I didn't sleep. I kept vigil on that election when they were collecting the results. We were concerned because it would serve as a kind of a litmus test to what we are going to have in 2027. And you came out to tell us that because it's your tribe. So it's all about your tribe, not who is competent, who have the character, somebody that has the requisite integrity, to navigate the ships of the country. So for me, it betrays the whole, struggle for a better Osun that will emerge through the will of the people, not through the will of the people in power. And again, the Osun people, I keep saying this, Nigerian youth, if you look at the election, you find out that the people who were in the forefront were the young people. The women actually did vote. They did come out to vote. But the people that protected the vote were the young people. So the young Nigerians, the moment they start dividing us that this person is, Igbo, this person is a Muslim, this person is a Christian, let us not listen to them, because it is in their own interest. It is never in the interest of the people. They make us believe that we are at war with one another, whereas they are dining and whining and they are happy there. So Nigeria, you let us come out in 2027. This election of Osun State is an eye-opener to Nigerian youth that, what, even the so-called, political, cabals and all that, we can still defeat them, because the people united in one accord cannot be defeated. That's what the Osun people have exhibited, what they have, displayed. And we can do this. In 2027, let us vote not based on my tribesman. Let us vote based on who has the competence, who has the integrity, who has the character, who is the person that will help us to come out of this political quagmire that we found ourselves in Nigeria. That is my own, plea to Nigerian youth.
If you are shocked with what Adeleke said, I was shocked hearing from Shego Oshoba, an elder statesman, who said that we will support him because he's our son. Is that not true? So many of them. What is driving the Tinubu presidency is nepotism and tribalism. Nobody can rule it out. It is a clear-cut evidence before everybody. So that he agreed to give him accord presidential vote, I'm not surprised. After all, somebody did it in Anambra. But the question is, this man that you people are deferring to, all the governors and every other person, is he qualified to lead Nigeria? I mean, can you give us the evidence? Show us that thing that makes anybody wanting to support Tinubu to go back to that office. I mean, in practical terms, release it for us. Let us interrogate it. Because when Kiyamo is telling us that great men don't go to primary school and secondary school, I say, please mention the great men that didn't go to primary school.
So funny.
Mention the great men. You can see psychopathy. People at that height. And SAN. People at that height. Mention that great man anywhere in the world that didn't go to school from primary to secondary. Mention.
And went to university.
Yes. Even the university is full of controversy. And so when you see people,
that's what supporting the APC can do to you.
Sorry?
That's what supporting the APC can do to you.
So the moment you start supporting APC,
so when you see all this thing, please, my people, who is now the loser? Is it the man or Nigerians?
Of course, Nigeria.
You can see. Tomorrow night, the same people come out. How did we get here? How is Nigeria like this? They will blame everybody but themselves. When they want to be so corny, they will say politicians are bad. Are you not one of the people that made it bad? So that is why at times I am tempted to call out people, because there's no other way. Call them out. The people that are destroying Nigeria, call them out. Whether your brother, your sister, or whoever, or your husband, uncle, call them out. That's the only way. We cannot continue to say we want a better Nigeria. Everybody is telling me, I congratulate Tinubu for Osun. On what ground? Please, on what ground? Did he actually mean Osun to be free and fair? No. It's just that the people resisted. That is all. And now they are giving him credit. Tomorrow night he will claim it. This sacrifice, in Osun, it was in Edo State, where he told them, I will give you Edo State. And he gave it to them. They will not talk about that one. They will never. So these are some of the pranks these people play, and I get worried. How can Nigeria get better with this type of behavior? That is my question. How can Abuja is surprised and shocked at the outcome of Osun State? Absolutely. Because that was never their plan.
That was not the game plan.
How can you deploy such a battalion of security men and you say you want free and fair election?
Let's also bear in mind that the candidate of the APC was not the generally accepted. He was imposed.
Yes.
And people are saying that Omishore or something, the guy played, equally did something.
So because they were sure. Look,
that he revolted.
Do you know what happened?
That he brought his own supporters to support Adeleke.
No, you know what happened? They believe that even if they bring a lame dog in Osun, they are going to win. Because of what they have already planned. Is that not the worst embarrassment that 16 governors invaded the state? I mean, invaded. Because under the Electoral Act, they are not supposed to be there. It's an electoral offense, but who will challenge them?
That's exactly what we are saying.
It's an electoral offense. You left your state and you sauntered into to do what?
You are not going to vote. You are not a voter. You don't have a PVC. You can't vote in the state. Why are you importing people from other states to the state?
No, it's just because Osun people, they didn't want to be controlled by anybody. Because if Oyebanji had entered, he would have been like Fubara. That was what they wanted to do.
Yes.
They wanted another Fubara in Osun state. That was the reason. They brought that guy who is unknown to anybody in Osun.
Yes. There is something
that was what
happened.
You have heard their reaction. They said that they were completely embarrassed by the speech. However, let's hear another perspective from Justice Clark. He argued that Governor Adeleke could thank anyone he wants to thank. He can thank the chicken, the goat, the 7 seas of Africa. But he should never forget that the people of Osun State were the ones who gave him the victory he has today, and not President Bola Ahmed Tinubu or any alleged political agreement. Let's listen carefully to his reasoning. We'll be right back.
Adeleke, if you like, appreciate Amadioham. If you like, appreciate Ayelala. If you like, appreciate Ogun. No matter who you appreciate. We want you to understand something. Adeleke, you did not win that election. Osun people won that election. Osun people won. I don't want shout. Also, people won that election, and I think every accolade, every appreciation should go to Osun people. Wait, I don't care. Affirming your support for Tinubu, that was on a political business, but Osun people won that election. Let nobody argue. May nobody argue that thing at all. Mona no go there, because that's where I will have issue with anybody. It is quite insensitive that you are taking the accolade that is due for Osun people. You don't carry out. Now Tinubu vote for you. Tinubu is occupying a position that they let person today inside. Meaning say him too is either elect am, although whether he grab and run with him, whichever way. But he's sitting in a position where we say he's an elected office. Tinubu did not vote for you. Tinubu did not vote for you. Tinubu did not defend your vote. Tinubu did not defeat APC 16 governors that came and left like they came with their Ashwebi and left like far away rain beats. Tinubu did not stand for you all through the night to make sure your vote was counted. You are thanking him for allowing free and fair elections, so he should have rigged it now. If you not allow him, now, where's democracy? If you not allow him now they make these people they feel like say they have more power than they have. What happened to democracy? What happened to people voting and let their vote counting? They thank them for allowing free and fair elections. So if origam, origi. Dear Nigerians, thank you. Osun people, thank you. Now Nigerians, you know that your vote counts. When they tell you your vote doesn't count, ask them waiting 16 governors go do for Osun State. Ask them waiting Senate President go do for Osun State. Anybody that can answer that question, then the person convince you otherwise that your vote doesn't count. But me, Justice Clark, I can tell you with what happened in Osun State, your vote count. And in 2027, our vote will count. We'll cast our vote and we'll watch our vote count and we'll monitor our vote. They will count them, or we'll count those people that refuse to count our votes peacefully.
I've heard Justice Clark and his analysis. What do you have to say about this? Now let's watch the analysis from Arise News about what Osun election could mean for the 2027 general election and how it may influence the minds of Nigerian voters. Let's watch the video. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Rufai. Thank you very much. First, I think you made the point earlier. What happened in Osun that made the election the way it is largely also the relatively high voter turnout relative to previous elections. This last Saturday's election recorded about 40% turnout, which unlike previous election, that didn't happen. So, but part of the thing that we need to acknowledge, Rufai, which is the moral booster, is the fact that people can be resilient, people can assert themselves and insist to get the result they wanted. And I think to that extent, you can say the Osun election reignited the Nigerian spirit, because what is it that we've been campaigning for? We are campaigning for a situation where Nigerians will rise up and come out and say, look, this is what we want. Yes, things are not good. we should have something different. But more than that is also the acknowledgement that somehow, combination of so many factors made it possible for Osun people to see an option in Governor Adeleke. And to a large extent, most of the back-end negotiation that happened the last minute also made it possible for the opposition parties to scale down their investment in the election so that and redirect it to support Governor Adeleke, which is why if one of the parties has got polled 50,000 votes, for instance, the story may have been different. So I think for me, and this is the point we made, that Osun election almost presented a roadmap in terms of how the 2027 general election should be managed. And that roadmap is simple, which is what we have argued in the past. The opposition need to come together to really present Nigerians with a formidable option. Look, in some ways, some of the things that happened in Osun, although unintended, made it possible for Osun people to see an option. Look, if Governor Adeleke, for instance, have moved to APC, he was not blocked from joining APC, the story may have been different. He may not have won the election, because combination when leaders in APC in Osun State block him, even when President Bola Tinubu wanted him in APC, that forced him to move to Accord Party. And apart from all of that, some of the action the APC government took, for instance, withholding local government allocation, freezing the account of the Osun State government at the last minute, those are provocative actions that made Osun people to rise up in defense of Governor Adeleke. So to some extent, Governor Adeleke become like the symbol of resistance against APC, and that to a large extent contributed to the victory that turned out to be the case. All we are saying is that in organizing ourselves as opposition for the 2027 general election, we need to present Nigerians with such a formidable option that will emerge as a symbol of resistance against what is happening today.
You have heard his analysis, but it didn't end there. During the Adeleke's family victory celebration, Davido's father allegedly said that the APC sent about 60 billion trying to win election, but the people still voted according to their choice. Let's watch the video together. We'll be right back.
Record me and play it to him. Let him hear. And let him know the reason why we defeated them. The only reason why we defeated my father, no, it's not because we are bigger, why we spend more money than him. On election, they don't spend any money. They spent 60 billion as we have. Some places they bought votes for as high as 50,000 naira for one single vote. On the day of the election, when I heard the kind of money they were spending, I went back to my little corner in my room and I knelt down and prayed to God. I said, God Almighty, please let people collect their money, or let them still vote for Governor Adeleke.
I've heard Davido's father allegation. If that amount is accurate, many people believe that such money could have been given to poor citizens, at least to improve their lives. There are a lot of poor people and poor children that are wondering about that needs that money. 60 billion naira. Anyways, it has not yet been verified. However, let's move to the next one. Let's listen to the reaction from News Central. We'll be right back.
APC, where did they get 300 and something thousand? You saw them, they bought votes worth about 60 billion, allegedly. Davido's dad just said that yesterday. So you can see EFCC, they're still not doing their job. INEC, police, well, you saw what police did in Osun. That's the first time police will be using our armored vehicles to snatch ballots, to do us. So we can say 70%, because of some people, they are resilient. They said no, they will not allow them. If we were to be free and fair, APC will not get 100,000 votes. You and I know it. They don't love them, they don't like them. So this 300 and something they got, vote buying, when you buy vote worth 60 billion, where did they get this money from? From different states. They put some people in more poverty, stealing their money to come and share in Osun. And INEC, The upper INEC that's supposed to say no vote buying here. Police that's supposed to stop them, they joined them. EFCC, they were nowhere to be found. It's for EFCC to knock out school, knock out churches, to get Yahoo boys. It's easy for them. But they saw a vote trading that is worth 60 billion, my brother. 60.
You said vote trading worth. I'm sorry, please. Sorry to interrupt you. You said vote trading worth 60 billion. Do you have that on good authority?
60 billion. Davido's dad confirmed that these people bought votes worth 60 billion naira.
60 billion.
Videos of them sharing 60 billion. More than Ekiti now. Ekiti spent about 20 billion plus buying votes. They spent 60 billion.
So, sir, can you enlighten us? Who were the recipients of this money?
In different states, money stolen from common people in different states. They brought them to Osun. You saw the governors there, about 12 or thereabout. You saw them making their show of shame there, going up and down, buying votes, intimidating people.
I'm still going to stay with you, Mr.
The armored person. Did you see the armored vehicles?
It is laughable when people make claim to what is not verifiable and then begin to pick the words of an individual to all of a sudden become an authority in a process that was not even witnessed. I was not just a stakeholder in that election. I was an observer in that Saturday's election. I saw what transpired before, during, and even up till now, that is after the election. What happened over the weekend was simply the resolve of the people to do what they wish to do and to elect who they want to lead them going forward, except otherwise proven. Up till now, the candidate of the APC and the party has not come out categorically to say either they are accepting the results or they are rejecting it and going to court. So until they probably come out with a position to say they are accepting or they are rejecting and going to court and giving their reasons, then we can be talking about the acceptability or the perception that surrounds that election. But what happened on Saturday for me, what is applaudable the most, is the resolve of the people to come out on the day of election to carry out their duty as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Before that election, there were a lot of apprehension as to the likelihood of voters' apathy. That is, the people not likely coming out on the day of election because of pre-election violence and sentimental issues, surrounding threats and what have you. But the people of the state showed one thing clearly, that the will of the people is supreme, that the vote of the people can and must be made to count. That is anything. That is the most applaudable thing that the people of the state have done. That election produced the highest figure that has ever been seen in the history of the gubernatorial election in that state. About 1 million votes were casted. That has not happened, not in the history of that state so far. So the fact that we have people turning out, irrespective of whatever feelings, irrespective of whatever sentiment, irrespective of whatever has been the situation of things before that election, is something that must be applauded. Another thing that must be applauded is the process in itself, that is the duty of INEC that they hold sacred and fulfilled. A lot of people were expecting that INEC will perform woefully. Of course, you know the Nigerian mentality. We often wait till hoping that things don't happen the way it's supposed to happen. But INEC did not 100%, if I must say, but substantially INEC did well. I was on the street as early as 7 a.m. an election observer on that day, and I can tell you that on the average, about 80% of the polling booths had INEC officials attending and resuming duty as early as 8 o'clock, and by 8:30, voting proceedings started in most of the polling booths across the country.
You have heard the reaction, and remember the 60 billion figures remain an allegation unless it is supported by clear evidence. It still didn't end there. Arise News also invited a barrister who described the Osun election as a victory not only for the people but also an important test for INEC ahead of the 2027 presidential election. Let's listen to what he said. We'll be right back.
Oh yes. For me, it's congratulations to INEC. INEC has disappointed a number of its critics. INEC has done quite well. It has proven that it can really organize elections despite several hitches, despite the behavioral problems associated with the participants, whether as candidates, electorates, and observers. INEC has proven, from this standpoint where I observed these elections, yesterday I was at the Election Analysis Center of the Center for Democracy and Development, along with Professor Sam Amadi. I also followed very closely the way results were uploaded onto the INEC results viewing portal, and I find that to be very seamless. I don't know what other contrary reports. Sitting on my desk, I was able to see results being uploaded real time. And I was observing that the trends of the results as they came in, and that could now authoritatively give sites like thisdaylive.com to accurately map the results. So a lot more persons already knew the results long before it was declared. Now, as a crass credit to INEC, I remember that particular thing on the screen. I viewed it while I was looking at the IREV portal, and I realized that INEC indeed has quite a lot to improve upon. You can see it, I have a copy here. You can see for everything that was written, there was a cancellation, there was mutilation, there was rewriting, there was sign, there was nothing. And I'm referring to the result. The result from the polling unit of CHS school, Wasimi village. That was a huge embarrassment. That was a huge embarrassment for INEC when you realize that in the entire results I viewed on the IRF portal, this one stood out as something that INEC needs to work upon in terms of the recruitment of its ad hoc staff. One bad apple can indeed spoil the whole lot in the basket. That's the example of what I saw in that polling unit from Wasimi village. So INEC has proven that it can get its operations right when it has all of the resources. So congratulations to INEC on the specific note. It has a lot to learn from. Like I said yesterday, that there will be problems, but the responsive rate at which INEC resolves those problems will determine how effective it is, and it has proven that it can do that. So this is actually a progress for our democracy. We hope this will translate to better progress in 2027. This election, I think, this Osun election, I think the APC has been better for it. Why do I say that? The president has also disappointed a lot of his critics. Many people thought that with the earlier weaponization of federal agencies and institutions and operational work in Osun State prior to the election, it will be largely rigged, but the president stayed away. The federal mind was not visible. I was speaking to Professor Amadi yesterday as we approached the Center for Democracy Election Analysis Center, and the idea was that there's this observation that there is some measure of restraint on the part of the police and on the part of the army. I hope he speaks to that a lot more later. So far it has been good. The final analysis on the part of the CDD is that it has been largely it has been an election that I can refer to as a redefinition of two important things. I know we're analyzing INEC now, but what we have seen so far, because I don't know how much time I've got, so let me quickly let you know that the redefinition of party politics. We've seen that the political parties can be irrelevant when it comes to a charismatic and happy-go-lucky individual like Governor Adeleke. We've also seen that the insurmountable, nearly almost insurmountable problem of vote buying, as we've seen Vimbai rendering that traditional expression there, aptly, interpreted by Dr. Steve, showing that shows that look, voters are now becoming wise, so they collect money and they vote their mind. So the definition of the fact that an individual can actually override and towards so much to the point that political parties' influence now becomes irrelevant is something we must seriously consider in terms of having independent candidacy in the subsequent elections. We're talking about Governor Adeleke, who took a fringe party, a party that was nearly irrelevant in national politics, and transformed it into a major force in an election and that delivered. And again, it also shows that the impartiality, the independence, and the manner with which INEC has conducted this election, if it's reassuringly reenacts it in 2027, then we will be making serious progress as a country and as a people, and then we'll congratulate ourselves indeed. INEC has done well. That's what I can say.
I've heard his opinion and I partly agree with him. Do you know why? there is still a lot of work to be done before 2027 coming election. It's going to be brutal, seriously, and we have to wear our armor and be prepared brutally. We must educate our parents, we must educate our grandparents and community about the dangers of vote buying. Anybody who spends heavily to buy vote from, as in from you, or someone that spends heavily to buy your conscience, doesn't mean well for you. Because if you are pure in heart and if you mean well for me, you will not be giving me money to buy my conscience or to buy my support. I will see it that you are a good person and you deserve to be voted for. Am I making sense? A good person does not just come and buy vote because that person knows that he is doing the right thing. But someone that is not doing the right thing in the government or in the community or in the country will definitely try to use money to bribe you into voting for them because they know that you don't have a choice. Am I making sense? So they are making the citizens to be more poor in order to give them money and buy them so that they will remain in power and continue their, evil ways. Am I making sense? So please make sure you educate your parents, educate their gross old mama that if you give them one plate of rice, they will vote for Tinubu. Please, let's try and educate them, letting them to understand that all those things that they are doing is just for them to keep on suffering the citizens. Keep on vote buying is wrong. Vote buying is wrong. Whether Tinubu is a good president or whether he's not a good president, vote buying is still wrong. And remember what I said initially, someone that has your best interest at hand will never buy your conscience. That person will use his actions to speak louder than his words or speak louder than his money to show you that he's a good person, because action speaks louder than words. Am I making sense? So guys, tell me what you think about all these things that I just said and the different opinions of the activists, the bloggers, the newscasters, Rufai Oseni, the man that said that the INEC chairman actually tried. I just want to know your opinion because your opinion actually matters so much to me, and I pray that God Almighty will continue to bless you and replenish your pockets because it's not easy to buy data in this country and watch my videos. I so much appreciate. Namaste. Thank you, Dalo. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Gracias. Thank you. I appreciate. I continue to appreciate you. And remain blessed and stay tuned. Peace out.